What's up, B2? Capital G here. Got some Gouki duels for you guys to check out. First duel is just going to be showing you the max combo, and then everything after that is going to be putting those combos to use. Now, I wasn't really sure where Goukis as an archetype were going to go because they did lose Rongo. They lost Magical Midfield Breaker, which obviously just made it a lot easier to put Rongo on the board, making sure your opponent couldn't wreck you with those hand traps. But when you lose your big win con, it's like, where exactly are you going from there? Now, the thing about Gouki are, they still had the ability to run ISO, they still had Summon Sorcerer, so I felt like they still had something, like they had a lot of power. They just had to be able to harness that power into a win condition. Most people, from what I can see, have, kind of leaned towards Rusty Bardique, which this is my prediction. I think that after the NAWCQ, Rusty Bardique is going to get banned. That card is in fucking everything at this point. Wouldn't you guys agree? But anyways, Rusty Bardique, which obviously allows you to make Azathoth, is kind of what Goukis are going towards now, and this deck can definitely do that. But this version of Gouki actually has a play that's even more spicy than that, and it makes your Azathoth field a lot better than traditional Gouki. So you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to be a monster that you would not really expect in Gouki. You actually get to pull it from the deck, which is crazy, and I was like, whoa, this could be a sleeper pick for like YCS Chicago, because this is 100% TCG legal. And don't worry, Summon Sorceress is going to pull it from the deck right now. The card that you're actually going to pull from your deck, well, you're going to pull another card later, but what you need to get this on board, you're actually going to need a a tuner. You are going to need a synchro, obviously, but Junk Archer is going to be used here. You pull this guy from the deck, and obviously that means some synchro summoning is going to occur. Synchro summoning for the Road Warrior, and Road Warrior, actually, this is actually amazing that someone figured this out. Road Warrior allows you to pull Cyber-Stein straight from your deck for free. You don't have to do anything. It says once per turn you can special summon one level 2 warrior or machine monster from your deck. It's so weird that it picks those two types specifically, I guess because Yusei used a lot of those on the show, and I know that Yusei did use Road Warrior as well, but this allows you to pull Cyber-Stein straight from your deck. Obviously, you can trigger some Goukis too, and then, and this isn't any type of crazy FTK or anything like that, you can activate Cyber-Stein, and bam, you just get Neteria Exterio. Now your opponent, spells and traps, not gonna happen. After this, you are going for Time Thief Redoer, and you're just going for the basic Azathoth plays. These are all kind of like standard, and with Cyber-Stein, I don't even think it's just like the danger. I don't want to, demonize this card and be like, it should have never been unbanned, because I feel like, and you guys just correct me if I'm wrong, don't you feel like everybody was saying that this card didn't matter, that it wasn't going to do anything, Effect Veiler GG, and now that we're actually seeing it play, everybody's like, oh my god, it's the most broken card. You stop, guys. You can't have it both ways. If you were saying that Cyber-Stein was bad before they unbanned it, I think it's at 3 in the OCG, or maybe it's like semi-limited. I know it's legal in the OCG, but I feel like you can't just flip-flop immediately. I feel like the FTKs are all dangerous problems. I don't feel like that's Cyber-Stein's fault at all. I mean, you can pull off those FTKs without actually using Cyber-Stein, and don't worry, I'll make a video about that. But Cyber-Stein, to me, just kind of feels like icing on the cake in this Gouki deck, because it just gives you a lot more power when you don't have to, or it gives you a lot more power in addition to the Azathoth, like your opponent not being able to use any spells and traps because of the Neteria Exterio. And the thing is, even if your Cyber-Stein does get Effect Veiler, which I think is highly unlikely, I think that your opponent probably would have already used Effect Veiler on Summon Sorceress or maybe the ISO'd itself. But even if your opponent does use it, it's not like, I mean, yeah, you're at 3,000 light points, but you're still going to be able to make Azathoth. You're still going to be able to have like legitimate plays. You can make Nightmare Phoenix with this deck as well. So I feel like that's not actually going to do all that much, even if you kind of whiff on the effect of the Cyber-Stein. You can see right here, his opponent summons the little fluffle dog, doesn't get the effect. Obviously, he cannot attack. I wonder here if he could have went for like Borrelsword Dragon, like traded in this, and these two monsters for Borrelsword Dragon, and just actually killed him here. I don't know the exact damage off of the top of my head, but he doesn't get game, and that's just kind of a waste, because you want to be able to kill your opponent after you Azathoth them. Don't want to give them a chance, but he does have the Phantom Knight Knights, a Fog Blade just in case his opponent does have that key monster effect, and obviously any other spells or traps that his opponent activates, he has the Naturia Exterio for that. So our second duel is going to be against Invoked, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this hand is not looking terrible against a deck like Gouki, because you're opening up with 2 hand traps. Your opponent does have Called by the Grave, but you got 2 hand traps to rely on, not just 1. Plus you got Pot of Desires to hopefully get you some more draws, so it's not looking all that bad. And let's see, he gets the open, which is even better. This is nice because he has Trap Trick, and then he also has Called by the Grave himself, so Called by the Grave should eliminate at least 1 Gouki monster from resolving. He goes for Artifact Sanctum. I thought at this point, I was like, dude, you need to just win the duel off of this. Artifact Sanctum, wait for your opponent to commit all these monsters on field, which he does. He waits for him to put 3, goes for the Artifact Scythe, locks his opponent out. The problem is he can't, like, he draws more hand traps. And at some point, like, hand traps are really good, but you kind of need to get into your engine. I mean, don't get me wrong, if he top decked an Alistair, this game is 100% over, but I feel like, I don't know, man, maybe he can just win with hand traps and Artifact Scythe. Scythe is done this turn, no need to set anything because he has all the hand traps in his hand. He's going to use the Effect Veiler on Suplex. I don't know if I would have done that, because maybe you probably just use Effect Veiler on Isode. You know you're going to have to hit Isode at some point anyway, so whatever, we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Probably going to use Ash Blossom on the Isode, the second effect, but ooh, gets hit by the Called by the Grave, so I guess he knows how it feels, considering that, yeah, he used Called by the Grave earlier in that turn. Summon Sorceress going to get hit by the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, but it's just not going to work out because he does have the, he has the rematch, so he can easily get 4 monsters on board. Goes for Rusty Bardique, and he has the 2 level 4s, but this time he's going for Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon. I'm guessing just for the raw damage. Not bad. It's a nice little deviation there. Gets the damage there. And this can still let him go into Azathoth. Doesn't even really need it because, I mean, he doesn't know his opponent's hand, but he definitely does not need the Azathoth here. His opponent has Super Bricked. He never actually got to his Alistair, or even like Blue Boy would have done, probably, Blue Boy would have been fine there too, because he could have probably used the Spellbook of Knowledge, discarded Blue Boy, draw some more cards. But when you attack into a set Ash Blossom, you know that you've pretty much won the duel. That's just unfortunate. Sometimes you do run too many hand traps and you open with all of them and then you can't win. Let's pause for one quick second and see what this Gouki deck is looking like. So this is what the deck looks like on paper, and I was actually kind of surprised. This is to me, like, the build just looks like straight up plain Jane vanilla Goukis with not really anything or not much change. There's obviously the addition of the Cyber-Stein and then the Junk Archer. You're going to run a couple of extra deck cards because you need Road Warrior to pull out your Cyber-Stein, and then you're going to use your Cyber-Stein to summon your Naturia Exterio, but you're really just talking about 2 additional cards in your main deck. Both of them can be summoned from the deck, and then 2 cards in your extra deck that, you know, are facilitated by these 2 cards that you're running in your main deck. And I kind of feel like the upside is definitely worth it in this deck. You're not running some huge ancillary engine, not even something as big as what people used to run for, like the Brilliant Fusion engine, which was like 4 cards. You're talking about 2 cards, and if Cyber-Stein does go off, you're probably going to win. And the thing about Cyber-Stein that I don't think a lot of people understand is, you know, people kind of wanted to contextualize Cyber-Stein in the case of people just using their normal summon, activating Stein, and then winning or losing the duel based on that. But in a combo deck like Gouki, where you can pull Stein out of your deck, the likelihood of your opponent still having hand traps by the time that you're ready to resolve Stein is so ridiculously small. Like, it is just not going to happen that your opponent would hold hand traps for, you know, a Road Warrior or for Cyber-Stein or something like that. Also, you can use Cyber-Stein for the summon of the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardique, so you don't even have to leave this guy on the field or something like that. Granted, you can summon it in defense position, but, you know, if you didn't want to just like leave it on the field, if you did happen to just normal summon it, you know, some way, somehow, or something like that, you could actually get it off the field so that your opponent doesn't attack into it. So yeah, I kind of feel like if you're playing Gouki right now, you probably should be running Stein just for this play, because it makes your turn 1 significantly better, in my opinion. Makes it so that, you know, with regular Gokis, I believe that they're really just ending, or they're looking to end on ideally boards of like Nightmare Griffin and Azathoth, which is really fine, but like who the fuck doesn't play evenly matched now? If you just want to lose the evenly matched, just be my guest, because your opponent will, if they have evenly matched, they'll go inner battle phase, evenly match you, probably just pass turn, and you really won't have any resources left at that point. Naturia Exterio shuts that down, and it probably takes that duel that would have been a loss and makes it into a win. Kind of feel like it's worth it. This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/MegaCapitalG. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your Apple or Android device. Cancel anytime with no obligations. I'm listening to the amazing Wrestling for My Life by Shawn Michaels. Link in the description.